doesn't grab your attention, nothing ever will. It's called Forever Young. So let's see what it's all about. Forever Young. Reginald Armour, who was kind of a protege of Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes knew him when Reginald was a little kid, or Reginald, when he was a little kid, knew Ernest Holmes and grew up knowing Holmes, and as I said, became one of his proteges, so to speak. He says, wisdom pierces the unseen world of causes, and it reveals a whole new world of possibility and adventure. So let's see how that fits in with Ernest Holmes. Creative Mind and Success from 1919, folks. Creative Mind and Success was publication back then. And this fits right in with the Forever Young theme. Amelia Barr was 53 before she wrote a book. After that, she wrote more than 80, all of which had large circulations. Mary Baker Eddy, who was the founder of Christian Science, by the way, was 60 before she began her work, and she attended to all her great activities until she passed from this plane to a higher one. I once took a man who was older than 60, one who thought his chance of success had gone, and through teaching him these principles, that is, Ernest Holmes here means Science of Mind principles, in a year's time made him a prosperous businessman. He's now doing well, and he is now doing well and was never before so happy. Every day he stands in his store and he claims more activity. He speaks the words and realizes increase all the time. Here he's talking about belief, thought plus feeling. He says, if this were not true, then life would not be worth the living. What is a few years in eternity? We must get over these false notions about age and competition. We must get over these false ideas. He says, in truth, the word competition is never mentioned. Life is what we make from it within. Life is what we make from it. Life is what we make it from within and never from without. Excuse me, I've got a problem with my voice today. And he ends by saying, we're just as old as we think we are, no matter the number of years we may have lived on this planet. As I said, that was from a publication called Creative Mind and Success, which was around in 1919. And if you want to look it up, it's on pages 33 and 34. And this is what Reverend Jesse has to say. He says, they may have called it brash back in the day, Ernest Holmes lecturing us on aging in the year in which he turned 32. Except, well, he's right. It's never too late to break out into a new creative endeavor and savor its success. At any age, competition is overstated and is an impediment. The world is waiting for what we have to come up with. Every word, every song has a particular audience lining up for it. Then he says, where shall we begin? So that means you and I have got no excuse for starting something fresh. And I'll tell you, I've started a bunch of things in my time, but I've got to admit, I've had a lot of good mentors on the way. You know, really good mentors. The two in Science of Mind, the two mentors really were Reverend Dr. Jesse Jennings, who's my current senior minister, and the late, great Marcia Lehman, who passed away several years ago. And that was a big blow to me when she passed away, because she and I had taught, I'm guessing 15 classes together, lots, some in person, lots online after the pandemic started. I mean, loads of classes. So I was no spring chicken when I started in Science of Mind. And I know lots of people, you know what it brings to mind? To me, it brings Grandma Moses to mind. I forget how old she was when she started, but I mean, when I think about people like her, I think it's just phenomenal that they can actually have such success and they start so late in life. I'm really amazed. So as I was saying, to round this out, it gives us no excuse. We have no excuse for not starting. So whether you're 20 or you're 90, you've got no excuse. I mean, look at people like Betty White, who carried on working till she was almost 100. She passed away not quite 100. And lots of people out there who are septuagenarians, octogenarians, and more. And they've often started new stuff. So I think this is very encouraging. I think it's good that Reverend Jesse has put this towards the end of his series because it gives us great encouragement to move on. So, hey, those are my 10 cents worth. Oh, and the quote today, which you don't need to look it up separately, from Thomas Edison, was really kind of cute. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and involves work. Opportunity is missed by most people because it's dressed in overalls and it involves work. Thomas Albert Edison. I am not disturbed by the passage of time, of the variations of experience I go through. I am not disturbed by the passage of time, of the variations of experience I go through. So it has been my pleasure reading this today. I'll be reading Reverend Jesse's last piece for this year tomorrow. So to be sure to tune into that. Be sure to tune in to my good friend and colleague, Reverend Lisa Ryan. She and I were in ministerial school together. She started about a year ahead of me. Maybe she started about 18 months ahead of me. And when I started, she said, I'm going to be your student mentor. Not may I be, I am going to be your student mentor. I am your student mentor because we were in the same seminary, you might say, School of Spiritual Leadership from Denver, the Denver campus of the School of Spiritual Leadership, which you can call, seminary, whatever you wish. So please tune in for Reverend Lisa. She's completely different than me. She is a lot more chatty, and she will remind you about the importance of self-care, which I often forget to tell you about. So self-care. My leaving thought today is knowing for each and everyone that they begin to pay attention to self-care. And I can claim this is a truth because I release it now with gratitude into a divine mind that always says yes. And so it is. So until next time, namaste.